What if the path to becoming a better version of yourself isn't a steep, exhausting climb, but the gentle, daily return to who you already are? What if real growth isn't loud and dramatic, but as quiet and powerful as the sun rising? Stay with me, because today we explore 7 practices that transform your life not through pressure, but through presence. You've been told that to improve your life, you need to be tougher on yourself, push harder, and never stop grinding. But ancient wisdom offers a revolutionary idea. You don't need to break yourself to build yourself. Today, we're uncovering a gentler, more profound path to self-improvement, one that begins not with force, but with a single, mindful breath. Imagine your life is a magnificent tree. For years, you've been trying to make it grow by frantically shaking its branches. But what if the secret to its flourishing lies not in the branches, but in silently nourishing the roots? These 7 daily practices are the water and sunlight for those roots, creating effortless, powerful growth from the inside out. Every single day is a quiet, gentle invitation to rise, not through the relentless pressure to be more, but through the profound presence of who you are. In a world that screams, "Be better, achieve more," Buddhist wisdom whispers a revolutionary truth. Self-improvement isn't about chasing a flawless, future version of yourself. It's about tenderly waking up to the person you truly are, underneath all the noise and conditioning. It is the sacred art of returning, again and again, to stillness, to awareness, to a life lived with deep intention. You don't need to overhaul your entire existence in a single, dramatic leap. Real, lasting transformation happens much more subtly. It happens in the quiet way you begin your mornings. It's found in the choices you make when no one else is watching. It grows from the faults you consciously choose to water each day. Growth on this path is not loud or flashy. It is deliberate, it is gentle, and it is immensely powerful. If you have ever longed to get better, not by doing more, but by being more in what you do, then these daily practices will be your guide. 1 breath, 1 decision, 1 mindful step at a time. 1. Build a morning that builds you. The way you begin your morning is not just the start of your day. It is the blueprint that shapes the hours to come. In Buddhist wisdom, the very first thoughts, actions, and feelings you experienced upon waking act like seeds, and what you plant in the fertile soil of that first hour will inevitably grow and blossom throughout the rest of your day. Think about the common modern ritual. The alarm blares. You grab your phone, and your mind is instantly flooded with a torrent of notifications, news headlines, and the stressful demands of the world. By doing this, you are allowing the chaos of the outside world to control your mind before you've even had a chance to connect with yourself. The result: you move through the day feeling reactive, overwhelmed, scattered, and fundamentally disconnected from your own purpose. Instead, I invite you to treat the morning as a sacred space, a precious, protected time to build yourself from the inside out. Begin by simply waking up slowly, before you move or think. Let your eyes gently adjust to the light. Let your breath come naturally, feeling it deepen with each inhale and exhale. Sit in silence, even if it's just for 1 or 2 minutes. and simply listen, not to the world, but to yourself. Notice, how does your body feel? What is the quality of your mind? What emotions are present? This sacred pause is your power. It gives you the ability to respond to life with intention, rather than just reacting to it on autopilot. Then, move your body in a gentle way. This doesn't require an intense workout. Simply stretch your limbs, take a short walk, or practice a few simple yoga poses. This gentle movement awakens your life force energy and lovingly reconnects your mind to your body. After that, feed your mind something meaningful. Read a few pages from a spiritual book. Listen to music that soothes your soul. Journal your thoughts without judgment. Say a short prayer or a heartfelt affirmation. These small, intentional acts nourish your inner world before the demands of the outer world begin their assault. Think of your morning routine like laying the first stone in a foundation. If that first stone is placed with care, precision, and intention, the rest of the structure will be strong and true. A mindful morning doesn't need to be long or complicated. What matters is that it is intentional. Don't build a morning that leaves you drained and distracted. Build one that fills you with clarity, calm, and a quiet, unshakable power. In Buddhism, right intention always leads to right action. When you create a morning that supports your soul, your actions throughout the day naturally become more focused, peaceful, and purposeful. That is how you get better, not by chasing time, but by starting each day from a place of centered strength. 2. Set one intention. In today's world, most people wake up and are immediately crushed by the weight of everything they think they need to do. Their minds jump frantically from one task to another. Emails, messages, deadlines, goals, errands, expectations. It's like trying to juggle 50 balls at once. Is it any wonder we feel scattered, exhausted, and unfocused before the day has even truly begun? But Buddhism teaches us to simplify the mind. There's a beautiful concept known as ekaggata, which means one-pointedness or single-minded focus. Instead of trying to do everything at once, you do one thing with your full, undivided attention. Instead of starting your day with a mental hurricane, you begin with a single drop of clarity. Ask yourself this simple question: what is the one intention I want to carry with me today? Not 10 goals, not an overwhelming checklist, just one powerful, meaningful intention. It could be something beautifully simple, like, today, I will remain calm in the face of challenges. Or, today, I will speak with kindness to everyone I meet. Or perhaps, today, I will focus on finishing one important task with my full attention. When you choose one intention and hold it gently in your heart, it becomes your compass for the day. It is the North Star that keeps you on track when the winds of distraction try to blow you off course. It helps you say a firm no to what doesn't matter, so you can say a wholehearted yes to what truly does. This single intention doesn't mean you won't do other things, but it gives all your actions a unifying direction and a profound depth. Imagine walking through a dense forest with no path, versus walking with a clear, well-trodden trail ahead of you. That is the power of a single, focused intention. It cuts through the mental noise and gives your energy a sacred purpose. When you set too many goals at once, your mind becomes divided and your energy scattered. You might make a little progress in many directions, but not enough to feel a real sense of accomplishment. But when you set one clear intention, you channel all your energy like a focused beam of light. You begin to move with purpose instead of pressure. You begin to feel aligned, not just busy. So, instead of trying to conquer everything today, pause, breathe, and ask, what one thing truly matters? Let that be your guide. One strong intention can accomplish more than 50 scattered tasks. Free. Break the pattern. Don't break yourself. There are times in all our lives when we feel stuck, trapped in the same draining routines, overwhelmed by the same looping thoughts, reacting to life in the same old predictable ways. We wake up tired, move through the day with low energy, repeat habits that we know don't serve us, and end the day feeling frustrated or unfulfilled. When this happens, our first instinct is often to blame ourselves. We think, I'm lazy, I'm weak, or something is broken in me. But here is a gentle truth. You are not broken. Your patterns are. Buddhist wisdom teaches that much of our suffering arises from these unconscious, automatic habits. We keep doing the same things and expecting different results. But real growth never comes from self-punishment. It comes from gentle, compassionate awareness. When you feel stuck or unhappy, the solution isn't to push harder or beat yourself up. It's to gently and intentionally break the pattern that's holding you down. For example, if you always start your day by mindlessly scrolling on your phone, try sitting in silence for 3 minutes instead. If you always react with a flash of anger, try pausing to take one deep breath before responding. If you always fill every spare moment of your schedule with tasks, try doing one less thing with more presence. These small interruptions in your usual behavior are incredibly powerful. They create a space, a crack in the old structure, allowing for something new to emerge, a space for peace, for clarity, and for conscious choice. In Buddhism, this idea connects to the profound teaching of Patik Kasamapada, or dependent origination. In simple terms, it means that everything arises because of conditions. Your anxiety, your habits, your reactions, they are not random. They are the result of patterns and chains of events that you have the power to interrupt and reshape. You are not stuck forever, but you do need to recognize the loop you are in. Breaking a pattern doesn't require a drastic, life-altering change. It requires a single, conscious change. One small shift in how you speak, move, think, or respond can begin a whole new cycle. One that supports your growth instead of sabotaging it. And when that new, healthier pattern becomes your normal, you begin to rise without force. You evolve without self-harm. So the next time you feel like you're losing control, don't turn against yourself. Don't try to break yourself in order to change. Instead, step back, observe, breathe, and ask, what pattern am I in right now? And how can I gently, kindly break it today? You will be amazed at how a small change in your rhythm can create a big change in your reality. 4. Track your energy, not just your time, In modern life, we are taught to measure everything by the clock. How many hours we work, how many minutes we meditate, how quickly we respond. But Buddhism teaches a deeper, more resonant truth. Time is not the most important currency. Energy is. You can spend an entire day working on something, yet make very little progress because your energy is low and scattered. Or you can be fully present and focused for just 1 hour and accomplish more than you thought possible. Think about it. Have you ever had a day with plenty of free time, but you still couldn't focus? You kept scrolling, procrastinating, or getting distracted. Your time was abundant, but your energy was depleted. And have you ever had just a short window of time where you felt fully energized and created something amazing? That is the crucial difference between managing your time and managing your energy. In Buddhism, presence is everything. The more present and aware you are, the more potent and effective your energy becomes. If you are always exhausted, stressed, or distracted, even 8 free hours won't help you grow. But if you learn to take care of your energy, if you listen to your body, calm your mind, and protect your focus, then even a short period of effort can lead to real transformation. Start by becoming a student of your own energy. Pay attention to how it moves throughout the day. When do you feel most alive, clear, and creative? For some, it's in the quiet dawn. For others, it might be mid-afternoon or late at night. Notice the natural rhythms of your energy and begin to work with them, not against them. Use your high energy times for your most important work or your deepest thinking. Use your low energy times to rest, reflect, or move your body gently. Also, look honestly at what drains your energy. Is it certain people, environments, or habits? Is it the mental exhaustion of trying to do too much at once? You may think you're being productive, but if your energy is scattered across 10 different things, you're not really growing. You're just busy, and being busy does not always mean getting better. Buddhism encourages us to protect our inner peace, to guard our attention as if it was sacred, because it is. So, stop trying to squeeze more hours into your day. Instead, pause and ask, where is my energy right now? And what activity would honor this current state? If you're calm and focused, go deep. If you're tired, pause and recover. This is how you align with the flow of life instead of constantly forcing it. When you learn to track your energy instead of just your time, you'll find that you get more done, feel more fulfilled, and grow more effortlessly. Not by rushing, but by aligning. It's not about how long you work. It's about how deeply you show up. 5. Audit your environment without mercy. Here is one of the most profound and overlooked truths on the journey of personal growth. Your environment shapes your mind far more than you realize. You can have the best intentions, the strongest goals, and the deepest desire to change. But if you are constantly surrounded by chaos, noise, distractions, or toxic influences, your progress will feel like trying to swim against a powerful current. Buddhism teaches that everything arises in dependence on conditions. Our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are not born in isolation. They are deeply and inextricably connected to what surrounds us. Just as a flower needs the right soil, light, and air to bloom, your personal growth needs the right environment to truly take root. So take a moment right now to look around you, physically, digitally, and emotionally. What fills your space? Is your room cluttered with objects you don't use or need? Are you constantly bombarded by notifications, jarring news alerts, or noise that stresses you out? Are the people in your life supportive and peaceful, or do they constantly complain, gossip, and pull you down into negativity? Your environment is not just what's outside of you. It's what you allow to enter you through your senses, your energy, and your habits. Buddhist monks live in monasteries designed for stillness, clean lines, open spaces, minimal possessions. Everything around them is intentionally built to reflect and support clarity of mind. But you don't need to live in a monastery to benefit from this wisdom. You can begin with small, powerful changes. First, clean your physical space. Do this not just for the sake of being tidy, but as a sacred act of telling your mind, this is a place of peace. This is where I grow. Get rid of things that no longer serve your life. Physical clutter creates mental clutter. The more physical space you clear, the more mental clarity you will gain. Next, take an honest look at the digital world you inhabit. How many hours do you lose scrolling through meaningless content? How often do you reflexively check your phone when you feel a moment of boredom or anxiety? Each time you do, you reinforce a pattern of distraction. Buddhism teaches mindfulness, being fully aware of what you're doing and why. Audit your apps, silence your non-essential notifications, create tech-free spaces or times in your day where your attention can finally rest. Your focus is sacred. Do not let it be stolen by things that offer nothing of value in return. Now, we must go even deeper. Audit the emotional environment you are living in. Who do you spend the most time with? Do they uplift you or drain you? Do they inspire you to be better? Or do they keep you stuck in the same old stories? Sometimes, true growth means making difficult but necessary decisions, like creating gentle distance from people who consistently bring negativity into your life. Even if you care for them, Buddhism is not about cutting everyone out of your life indiscriminately. It's about understanding the nature of our connections and learning to engage with the world from a place of wisdom, not just reaction. This leads us to a crucial question. How do we interact with the people in our lives, especially the difficult ones, without losing our own peace? How do we practice compassion while still protecting our sacred energy? That is where our next practice begins. We left off by asking a crucial question. How do we navigate our relationships and audit our emotional environment with both compassion and clarity? Buddhist wisdom teaches that this is not about cold judgment. It is about recognizing that you can love someone deeply and still acknowledge that their energy doesn't support your journey right now. This honest assessment then turns inward, to the most important environment of all, the one inside your own mind. You must also audit your internal environment. What are the thoughts you feed yourself, day in and day out? Is the voice in your head a compassionate guide or a relentless critic? Are you kind and encouraging to yourself, or are you constantly criticizing, doubting, and belittling your own efforts. Your inner world is the primary environment you inhabit. If your mind is a landscape filled with the storms of fear, self-hate, or limiting beliefs, you will never move forward. No matter how much you try to change your external world, you must begin to speak to yourself with more kindness, more truth, and more patience. Your self-talk is the weather system of your mind. It creates the mental atmosphere in which all your actions, dreams, and intentions must grow. This practice of auditing your environment without mercy is not about being harsh or cold. It is about being radically honest and committing to your own well-being. You cannot build a better, more peaceful life on top of a foundation of chaos. You must consciously and deliberately create space for peace to enter. You must protect your energy as if your life depends on it, because, in a very real sense, it does. Every needless distraction, every toxic voice, every piece of physical and mental clutter is a weight holding you down on your path of growth. Let it go. Your surroundings matter. Your space matters. Your energy matters. If you truly want to rise higher, you must be willing to remove what keeps pulling you down. Be ruthless, not because you are unkind, but because you are committed to your own evolution. You are not just decorating a room, you are designing a sacred reality where your best self can finally breathe, expand, and thrive. So ask yourself now, what in my environment is not helping me become who I want to be? Then begin, piece by piece, moment by moment, to lovingly clear the way. You don't need perfection, you need intention, a clean space, a quiet mind, supportive people, and the courage to choose your peace over mere comfort. This is how you rise, not through brute force, but through alignment, not through willpower alone, but through creating a world around you that pulls you forward. Naturally, clean the soil, protect the seed, let your life bloom. 6. Treat discipline as a love language. When people hear the word discipline, they often think of something harsh and rigid. It conjures images of controlling rules, joyless restriction, or unpleasant self-denial. But in Buddhist philosophy, discipline, known as sila, is something entirely different and profoundly beautiful. It is not about forcing yourself to live under a strict, punishing regime. It is about lovingly and intentionally guiding your life. It is about honoring yourself enough to consistently make choices that protect your peace, sharpen your mind, and support your deepest values. Imagine this: if you truly, deeply loved yourself, wouldn't you want to take care of your body, your mind, your time, and your energy? Wouldn't you want to make choices that help you grow stronger, clearer, and more free? That is what true discipline is. It is not a prison, it is the ultimate form of self-respect. In Buddhism, discipline is one of the foundations of the Noble Eightfold Path. It is seen not as something that limits you, but as something that sets you free from the chaos of unchecked impulses. Without discipline, our fleeting desires take over. Our impulses lead the way. We keep chasing moments of quick pleasure and end up with long-term pain and regret. But when you bring discipline into your daily life, not as a punishment, but as a loving practice, you begin to feel in control, calm, and deeply aligned. So, how do you turn discipline into your personal love language? You begin by fundamentally changing your mindset. Stop thinking of discipline as something you have to do. Start seeing it as something you get to do. You get to wake up early and move your body, not because you hate how you look, but because you love the strength and vitality it gives you. You get to eat mindfully, not to deprive yourself, but to lovingly nourish the only body you will ever have. You get to say no to mindless distractions, not because you are boring, but because you recognize that your time and your attention are precious and sacred. Think of someone you love deeply. You would do anything to protect their well-being, wouldn't you? Now, imagine directing that same unwavering devotion toward yourself. That is discipline. Waking up early, meditating, journaling, setting boundaries, going to sleep on time, saying no to temptations that lead you nowhere. These are not restrictions. They are daily declarations of self-love. And remember, discipline does not mean perfection. In fact, rigid perfectionism is the enemy of growth. It often leads to burnout and shame. Buddhist discipline is about balance and consistency. It's about showing up for yourself consistently, not flawlessly. You are allowed to fall off track. What matters is that you return gently, patiently, and with boundless compassion, like a parent tenderly guiding a child. You bring yourself back to the path, not with anger, but with care. Over time, this way of living becomes second nature. You begin to enjoy the feeling of waking up with purpose. You start to crave the stillness of your meditation, the clarity that comes from structure, and the profound freedom of being in control of your choices. What once felt like discipline now simply feels like peace, like joy, like strength. This is how true transformation happens, not by punishing yourself into change, but by loving yourself into alignment. So the next time you think of discipline, don't see it as something cold or rigid. See it as an act of devotion to your highest self. Let it be your love language, the way you say, every single day, I care about my life. I care about my mind. I care about my future. Because when discipline comes from love, it doesn't feel like control. It feels like freedom. 7. Reflect before you rest. In our busy, always-on world, it has become normal to collapse into bed at night with a cluttered mind and an anxious heart. We scroll through our phones until our eyes are heavy, distracting ourselves from our own lives. Or we fall asleep replaying everything that went wrong during the day. Then we wake up and do it all over again, rushing through life without ever pausing to ask a simple, powerful question: what did I learn today? Buddhist teachings remind us that reflection isn't a luxury. It is an absolute necessity for growth. It is the mirror that allows us to see who we are becoming. Without reflection, we are simply moving through life reacting to everything but learning from nothing. But when we take just a few quiet minutes before bed to sit in stillness and honestly look at our day, we give ourselves something even more valuable than sleep. We give ourselves awareness. To reflect before you rest means to pause and look inward with gentle curiosity and kindness. Ask yourself, how did I show up today? Don't judge, just notice. Was I patient or was I reactive? Did I move with purpose? Or did I simply go through the motions? What energized me today? What drained me? What did I do well? And what might I do a little differently tomorrow? These gentle questions open the door to deeper self-awareness, and self-awareness is the sacred ground from which all meaningful change begins. You start to notice patterns, like how skipping your morning meditation made you feel more tense, or how a single kind word to a stranger unexpectedly lifted your mood. These small insights, gathered daily, lead to quiet, lasting growth. Reflection is also a powerful way to let go. So many of us carry the heavy weight of the day into our sleep. We replay awkward conversations, regrets, and mistakes. But when you reflect with intention, you begin to release that burden. You forgive yourself for not being perfect. You thank the day for what it taught you, even if the lesson was hard. You breathe out the tension and make room for true, restorative rest. In Buddhism, this is part of mindful closure, ending the day with grace instead of guilt. This practice doesn't have to be complicated. Just find a few quiet moments. Sit or lie down comfortably. Close your eyes. Take a few deep, cleansing breaths. Then, gently replay your day in your mind like a calm, kind observer. Smile at the moments you are proud of. Acknowledge the ones that challenged you, without judgment. Then, set a simple, gentle intention for tomorrow. It could be, tomorrow, I will listen more. Or, tomorrow, I will slow down. Let that intention rest in your heart as you drift off to sleep. Over time, this small nightly habit becomes a powerful anchor for your life. You will stop repeating the same mistakes, not because you are forcing change, but because you are simply becoming more mindful. And from mindfulness, everything begins to shift. Blank, underscore, blank. Getting better every day isn't about chasing a distant perfection or overwhelming yourself with grand goals. It is about starting a quiet revolution within. It is about the small, steady, conscious choices that align you with clarity, discipline, presence, and intention. Buddhism reminds us that true transformation doesn't come from dramatic, life-altering events, but from the simple, everyday choices we make with awareness. When you begin your morning in a way that nourishes your soul, you set the tone for a day of peace. When you choose one clear intention, you give your precious energy purpose and direction. When you break harmful patterns with compassion, you lovingly begin to change your future. When you track your energy instead of your time, you start living in beautiful alignment. When you clear your space, inside and out, you create the fertile ground for focus and freedom to grow. When you treat discipline as an act of profound self-respect, you reclaim mastery over your own mind. And when you reflect before you rest, you end each day with wisdom instead of worry. These are not just habits, they are sacred practices. Each one is a quiet act of devotion that brings you closer to the person you were always meant to be, not through pressure, but through presence. So begin where you are, with one breath, one step, one choice. The journey isn't about becoming someone else. It is about returning home to your true self, more awake and more alive than ever before. I would love to hear which of these 7 practices resonated with you the most. Let me know in the comments below which one you feel called to begin with. Your journey inspires us all. If this message of gentle growth served you today, please support our channel by liking this video and subscribing. We are a community dedicated to exploring this path of mindful living together, and we would be honored to have you with us. Thank you for walking this path today. May your days be mindful. May your growth be peaceful. And may you continue to rise quietly, gently, and powerfully.